What if I told you that your most precious childhood memory no longer exists? Not exactly. Think about your earliest birthday, your first day at school, or a family vacation you still remember vividly. It feels as though those moments have been safely stored somewhere inside your mind, waiting for you whenever you choose to revisit them. Most of us imagine memory as a recording. Something happens. The brain captures it, stores it, and years later, we simply press play. It feels so obvious that we rarely stop to question it. But modern neuroscience tells a completely different story. Every single time you remember something, you are not replaying the past, you are rebuilding it from scratch. Your brain gathers fragments, images, sounds, emotions, even smells and physical sensations, and assembles them into what feels like one seamless experience. The astonishing part is that this reconstruction happens in a fraction of a second, so quickly, so effortlessly, that you never notice the process itself. You experience only the finished product, a memory that feels vivid, personal, certain. But certainty is not the same thing as accuracy. Imagine opening a document you wrote 10 years ago. You only intend to read it, but while it's open, you notice a sentence that could sound better. You replace one word, delete another, add a short phrase. Then you press save. The story remains the same, but the document has changed. Researchers have discovered that your brain does something remarkably similar. Whenever you recall an experience, that memory briefly becomes unstable. Not erased, not forgotten, simply open to change. Scientists call this process memory reconsolidation. During recall, a memory trace can temporarily become modifiable before it is stored again. The overall story usually survives, but the details begin to drift. A face becomes sharper than it ever was. A conversation quietly merges with another. An emotion grows stronger than you originally felt. Sometimes, your brain even fills in details that were never there at all. Even your current beliefs, the knowledge you've gained since, or the mood you're in at this very moment, can subtly reshape what is about to be stored once again. And because each change is almost invisible, you never notice it's happening, which leads to a remarkable realization. Remembering is not simply revisiting the past. It is one of the ways the past continues to evolve. Every time you return to a memory, you give your brain another opportunity to edit it, usually by only the smallest amount. But over years, those tiny edits begin to accumulate. But here's where things become truly unsettling. What if your brain doesn't just change real memories? What if it can create memories of events that never happened at all? Not dreams, not imagination, real memories. The kind you would confidently swear actually happened. That question fascinated psychologist Elizabeth Loftus. She wanted to know whether the human brain could genuinely adopt a memory of an event that had never taken place. The answer would become one of the most surprising discoveries in the history of psychology. Elizabeth Loftus wanted to answer a question that sounded almost impossible. Could the human brain genuinely adopt a memory of something that had never happened? To find out, she designed one of the most influential experiments in the history of psychology. Participants were given several stories from their childhood. Most of them were real. Their family members had confirmed that the events had actually happened. But one story was completely invented. It described the participant becoming lost in a shopping mall as a young child, feeling frightened, being comforted by a stranger, and eventually finding their family again. There was only one problem. None of it had ever happened. At first, most participants said they had no memory of the event, which made perfect sense. There was nothing to remember. But during later interviews, they were encouraged to keep thinking about it, to picture the shopping mall, to imagine what they might have seen, how they might have felt, whether anything seemed familiar. And something extraordinary began to happen. Some participants started remembering. They described the stranger, their fear, even details the researchers had never suggested. An event that never happened was slowly becoming part of their personal history. This didn't happen to everyone, and it certainly doesn't mean that any memory can be implanted into anyone. But the experiment revealed something profound. Memory isn't simply retrieved, it is reconstructed. And during that reconstruction, suggestion can become imagination. Imagination can become familiarity. And familiarity can begin to feel exactly like memory. The person isn't pretending. They aren't deliberately lying. From the inside, the memory feels completely genuine. Part of the explanation lies in a process psychologists call source monitoring. Every memory contains two kinds of information: the experience itself and where that experience came from. Did you actually live it? Did someone tell you about it? Did you see it in a photograph? Or did you imagine it so vividly that years later your brain could no longer tell the difference? Most of the time, your brain gets this right. But sometimes, the boundaries begin to blur. A family story is repeated for years. An old photograph supplies the image. Your imagination fills in the sounds, the movement, the emotions. Eventually, the story no longer feels like something you heard, it feels like something you lived. That is what makes false memories so convincing. They don't arrive feeling false. They can contain vivid images, powerful emotions, even physical sensations. A person can be completely sincere, completely confident, and still be completely wrong. Confidence is not evidence. But if memory is this flexible, why would evolution create a system like it? Why not preserve the past exactly as it happened? Because memory was never built to be a perfect archive. It was built to help you survive. Imagine one of our distant ancestors walking through a forest. A branch snaps. A shadow moves between the trees. Moments later, a predator appears. What matters most? The exact number of leaves on the ground? The shape of every branch? The color of the sky? None of those details increase the chances of survival. What matters is recognizing the pattern. A sudden sound, followed by danger. The next time that sound appears, your brain doesn't ask, "What happened before?" It asks, "What should I do now?" Memory isn't a camera preserving the past. It's a navigator preparing you for what comes next. It doesn't store everything. It keeps what may matter most. And that helps explain one of the most fascinating discoveries in neuroscience. Many of the same brain networks that reconstruct your memories also become active when you imagine the future. Every important conversation, every difficult decision, every hope, every fear. Your brain builds them from fragments of things you've already experienced. Faces you've seen, places you've visited, emotions you've felt. Yesterday becomes the raw material for tomorrow. And perhaps that changes the way we think about ourselves. Your childhood, your greatest successes, your deepest regrets. None of those moments still exists. What remains is the story your brain continues to build from them. And that story is never finished. A painful memory can become wisdom. An embarrassing mistake can become a story you laugh about. A failure can become the reason you eventually succeeded. The past hasn't changed, but its meaning has. So let's return to the question we began with. Did your favorite childhood memory really happen exactly the way you remember it? Maybe, maybe not. But perhaps that's the wrong question. Because memory was never meant to tell you precisely where you've been. It was meant to help shape where you're going next. Every time you remember, you are not simply looking backward. you are quietly shaping the person you'll become tomorrow. Perhaps that is memory's greatest purpose, not to preserve your past, but to help create your future.